Mystery solved, or is it? Almost 2 months after a CDC scientist vanished, we finally have some answers. Timothy Cunningham went to work on February 12th for the Centers for Disease Control, but he left early and was never seen alive again. On Tuesday night, his body was pulled from the Chattahoochee River. Now, we brought you that recovery effort as breaking news on the late feed. But how did he get there and how did he die? What really happened? Natisha Lance retraces his steps from his house to the river.
After 7 weeks of looking, Tim Cunningham has been found, but police are still trying to figure out exactly what happened to him and why. Friends have similar questions.
I just want to hear a cogent, believable story, something that fills in these huge gaps between the person that I know him to be.
Atlanta police say they believe Dr. Tim Cunningham drowned in the Chattahoochee River either by accident or suicide on February 12th. But it doesn't make sense to Jonathan Edwards, who has been friends with Cunningham for more than a decade.
Just to hear that, no foul play is suspected, and, the hint being that he would have done this to himself, I disagree with that.
Edwards says he spoke with Cunningham 4 days before he went missing.
And I didn't get the sense that he was dealing with anything that serious.
Investigators say he came home on February 12th after leaving work early for not feeling well, and he left everything behind: his cell phone, his keys, his wallet, and his dog. And investigators say when his body was found, it looked like he may have been going for a jog.
He was wearing his favorite jogging shoes at the time that he was found.
Just a mile and a half away from his home.
It took Atlanta Fire and Rescue about 5 hours to recover Tim Cunningham's body from the Chattahoochee River. He was found on the east bank about 200 yards up from here.
Sergeant Cortez Stafford was there when the body was recovered, in a unique position as a personal friend of Cunningham's from Morehouse College and in his official role with Atlanta Fire and Rescue.
It's tough, don't get me wrong, but I know that I have a job to do, and it does hit a little bit closer to home, considering he was a good friend of mine.
The kind of friend who will be missed for his dependability, laughter, and kindness.
I think of him as a handwritten letter in a world of mass text. He was just kind of an old school friend who would just hit you up to see how you were doing.
And the family of Timothy Cunningham says that they are still trying to process what they are calling an incomprehensible loss. The medical examiner is still waiting for toxicology to come back, and police say they are still asking for tips, but they expect the case to be closed in probably about a month.
A lot of folks have been sounding off on social media on 11 Alive Facebook page. April Tucker says this story stinks. His car at home, but he is in the river. Did he walk to get there? A lot of folks talking about this. Cindy says, I believe there's a whole lot more to this story. Too much was left behind in his apartment for this to be accidental. Also, Debbie, she says something about this stuff and his car being at home and he drowns in the river is fishy. And Angela says, sounds like he was probably killed and dumped in the river. Now, you spoke with investigators. What are they saying about this murder conspiracy?
Well, the one thing that they are saying for sure, Ron, is that he was not murdered. But there was something that came up multiple times at the press conference today. Take a listen.
At this point, we have no indication of foul play involving Dr. Cunningham. As a point of emphasis, there's been no foul play indicated to this point where we are right now.
So we just verified that there was no murder. This was according to law enforcement.
Right, and we should point out that they said that about 5 times at that press conference today, so they overemphasized that no foul play was involved in this.
Okay, Natisha, thanks a lot. By the way, folks, you're going to find a lot more background information on the Cunningham case, including our previous coverage, photographs and videos right now on 11alive.com.